Hello little LEISD teachers. In this video I'm going to show you a few Zoom tricks. So the first thing I'm going to show you is how to make breakout rooms. Then we're going to look at how you can run reports, and then we are going to go into how you can save your recordings and then upload those, in this case to Canvas, but this would also apply for Google Classroom, and I suppose you could add a link in Seesaw as well. So let's get started. So you can see me here on the Zoom screen. My desktop is actually behind, so just to kind of get you a placement for what you're seeing here. Down here at the bottom, I have my tools because I am the host of this Zoom. So I have my mute, my stop video, my security, participants, chat, share screen, record, breakout rooms, and reactions. A couple of things to keep in mind. The first is that if you're sharing your screen, then you cannot do breakout rooms. It's kind of one or the other. So if I'm sharing my screen because I want my students to see something that I'm modeling, I can't also have a breakout room. So you can't do both at the same time. So to launch a breakout room, you click on where it says breakout rooms, and it's going to give you this pop-up. Now I don't have any participants, but that would automatically count the participants, and then it would automatically give an estimate for a number of rooms. If I wanted more rooms, I can easily adjust that number. And then automatically is just going to randomly assign them to a breakout room. Manually means that I'm going to go in and specify the room that they go to. So that is how you actually create a breakout room. It's that simple. Now I'm not going to do that again because I don't have a participant, but that's what you would do. As the instructor, you do have the ability to pop into any of those breakout rooms. It will not record the breakout rooms unless you as the instructor have gone into that breakout room. So if you don't go into a breakout room, it's going to record you, kind of like what you're looking at right here on my screen. So a tip, kind of a pro tip or a management tip here, and I saw it online, and I'll try to find my docs. I think it's on my laptop, but a teacher, he recommended making a doc or a slide that you assign to your students as part of that class. And then what you do, especially with slides, is you would, in your presentation, so on your desktop back over here, you would actually open up that presentation and do like the master view where you can see all of the slides at the same time. And the kids should be typing into that slide. So if you see a blank slide, you know that group is off task, and you know you need to go check on that particular breakout group. So kind of a way to monitor your kids simultaneously without being able to be in all of those different breakout rooms at the same time. So again, just to kind of explain that, you break your kids up. Let's say you have 6 groups. And then what you would do is you would say group 1 is slide 1, group 2 is slide 2, etc., etc. Go ahead and assign roles. So student A, you're the reporter. You're going to be typing into the slides. Student B, you're the timekeeper. Make sure, I told you you have 8 minutes to work in your breakout rooms. Make sure you're keeping everybody watching the time. Student C, you're the taskmaster. Make sure you're keeping everybody on task. So just like you would in regular face-to-face group work, you're giving out these roles. Then, again, on your actual desktop, you would go to your presentation, and one of the view options that you would have would be this, not that view, grid view. And this shows all the slides simultaneously. Now, obviously, in this case, these are not blank slides and nobody is actually editing them, but that should give you an idea. So if I was looking at all of the slides for my class and I see a blank one and it's slide 4, I know I need to go to breakout room 4 and check on that group of students. So again, that's just another way that you can kind of manage your students when you are using breakout rooms. Something else to consider is that private chat, the default for that should be off. You may want to double check that in your settings, but we do not recommend that you have private chat on for your students at all. They can message you. They do not need to be able to message each other. So just something to keep in mind. All right. So that's breakout rooms. Now let's look at reports. So to do that, I'm actually going to go in my browser to zoom.us or us. and then I'm going to sign in. I'm already signed in, but if you weren't, you would see an option here that says sign in, and then here you would see sign in with Google. So it's zoom.us, sign in with Google. And once you've done that, then you can come in here and see your settings. So here are my meetings. These are upcoming meetings. These are previous ones. And then I also have my recordings. So these are recordings that, and we'll come back to these in a minute. And then I have my settings. And this is where I can customize my waiting room. And we strongly recommend that you use a waiting room. Again, that may be a default. Just double check that in your settings though. Strongly recommend that you use a waiting room. That way you don't get Zoom bombed, or if a student shows up for the wrong class, you can, redirect them if you need to. Or if somebody has an inappropriate name. Just a few reasons you might want to use that. Alright, so over here we have reports. That's where I'm going to go now. So under reports, I have usage. And it's going to show just one day, but you can adjust that. So if I want to say I'd like to go all the way back to July 20th, and then this is going to show all of my Zooms that I've done since July 20th. So you can see here 8.3, 8.6, 8.13, 8.14, 8.17, etc. I can then see this number here has the duration, how long the meeting lasted, but it also has the number of participants who came in. So I can click on this list and that will show me all of the participants, and it also will show me how long they stayed and participated in the Zoom. Now, it doesn't show me if they're active. It's just going to show that they were in the Zoom. So it can help with attendance, but it's not foolproof. But in conjunction with your regular class standards and your norms, it is a good backup tool for you to be able to verify attendance on a certain day. And so again, just to see that, you would just click on that, and then it's going to show you their users, and it's going to show you how long they were in. If you say show unique users only, it'll combine them, because sometimes kids get kicked out, but this will combine them and it will add all their minutes in together so that you would get one standard point. You can export that as a CSV file as well. All right, so now back to meetings, and I'm not going to spend too much time on this, but you can set a recurring meeting, but personally, I like to just use one link, and that link is the same link I'm going to come to every time. If you watched the videos that I shared out the other day, I talked about how I'd set this up in my sandbox, where this was a first period Zoom link, and my students could click the same link every day. As the teacher, I'm also going to go to Canvas and click this same link. I'm not going to go to Zoom first to launch. I'm actually going to just launch it straight from Canvas and then sign in as the host. Your students will not be able to launch the meeting. You as the host would need to sign in and launch it. If you choose to use the same link every time, which you can, that's a totally viable option. If you choose to do that, when you come to reports, it will still generate a report for each time you launched that particular link. So Canvas support with Walker, Canvas support with Walker, Canvas support with Walker. You can see that the meeting IDs on this are all the same. I use the same link, and this one was on 8.3, this one was on 8.3, but this one was on 8.6. And you can see the different, it generated me 3 different reports. So just so you can see that there, that it's going to generate a report for every time you use that same link. So you do not have to make a new link for every single day. So that is breakout rooms, that is reports, and that is recurring links. The last part that I want to talk about with Zoom is recording. So one of the settings that you have is you can go ahead and set it to record. By the way, to turn off chat, that's under in meeting basics, and then you can just make sure to have private chat turned off right here. Let's see, screen sharing. This is where you can make screen sharing modifications. Whiteboard. breakout rooms, virtual backgrounds. Okay, so cloud recordings, email notifications, those kinds of things. So in your actual Zoom, let me go back to my Zoom, you have the option right here to record. You can set up in your settings where it auto records as well. That may be the best thing to do because honestly, I forget. I forget a lot if I don't have it set up to auto record. And I know that setting is in here. I have to find it. There we go. So instead of under meeting, go to recordings, and then there should be, right, automatic recording. So record on the local computer or record in the cloud and then turn that on. So whenever somebody joins my meeting, they do get a little disclaimer that tells them I'm recording. I just think that's good practice, but that's up to you. When you're done, you should get an email that says your recording is ready. So then you will come back here and go to meetings. No, go to recordings. And then you'll have cloud recordings and local recordings. So you can see here was a Zoom and it's saved to my desktop. If I want to do a cloud recording, then I can click on it and then I can download that file. I like the cloud recordings, but really it's up to you. So once I download this file, then, and it also downloaded my chat transcript and it downloaded a audio transcript. But whenever if I want to share this back out, it's going to save it and it's going to open it up as a MP4, so like a QuickTime file. I just need to save this, and really it should already be saved, but I have two options. I can go to my drive, and maybe I'm going to make a folder, but for right now I'm just going to put it in my general work. And I'm going to say new and say file upload, and then I can just double click that and upload it to my drive. I probably want to rename it because you can see it has this big, long, giant name right here, GMT. So that's like Mountain Time, General 2020, the date. Like that's a big, long name. I'm not going to remember that that's what it's called. So I need to find it right here, and I'm going to rename it to whatever specific. Okay. Whatever you taught that day, or 825 U.S. history, first period, whatever it is that you want to be specific there, okay? That's one option. The other option would be to upload it to YouTube. Keep in mind, if you upload it to YouTube, that you need to make it unlisted so that only people in your Canvas course would have access to it. You do not want that to be public on YouTube where anybody could be able to access it. That would definitely not be a best practice. So if you choose to upload these files to YouTube, please make sure you have it as unlisted. All right, so in this case, I added it to my drive, and then I'm going to go back to my Canvas course, and I'm going to make a page, and I'm going to call that, August 25th recording. Add the item, and then I'm going to say edit, and then I'm going to come right here to this plug. I'm going to search my Google Drive. I'm going to search for it by name, and I'm going to say embed, and that's going to put the video in so that my students can watch it. Or instead of a page, I can do an external URL. I'm going to come back here. I'm going to get the share link. I'm going to say only little LEISD. Done. And I'm going to pop that link in. Whoops. Have to copy it. Learn from my mistakes, guys. Copy link. There we go. Ah, sorry. Paste the link. and add item. And there it is. So it's still processing, but you get the idea. So that is how you can add, two different ways you can add recordings, your Zoom recordings, to your Canvas course. So please let me know if you have any other questions about Zoom and how you can add your Zoom recordings to Canvas in this case. My advice would be to upload it to Drive. If you, again, just please, if you choose to use YouTube, please make that unlisted. Do not make these videos public. We want to keep all the information, any possible student information, as secure as possible. And so that would mean, public YouTube would not be the right place for it. Again, if you have any questions about Zoom or how to add videos to Canvas or Google Classroom or Seesaw, please reach out to Jeff, Melissa, or myself. We'd be happy to help you.